Gather your wings and sprinkle on some pixie dust because it is almost time for the Tinkerbell Half Marathon weekend. Hello everyone, Laura here with Joyful Miles, a channel that's all about inspiring others to enjoy life 1 mile at a time. We're at our beach house this weekend celebrating my 48th birthday. Woo-hoo! But this means that I don't have the new video equipment that I ordered, including a new microphone. And I'm a little late getting this video up, seeing as how Tink is next weekend. But in the spirit of better late than never, I'm going to go ahead and share some tips today, since many of you will be there next weekend. First off, I am going to be putting links to my blog recaps and video recaps from the 2016 race in the description box below. You can also find a video of a casual chat I did with my friend Becky at LAX after last year's Tink. Also, we get into the differences between a Disneyland race and a Disney World race in the several Jammin' on the Run videos we did after the Disneyland Half Marathon. Whew! Links are going to be below. Until then, I am going to share a few differences between East Coast and West Coast races in case you are doing a West Coast race for the first time this weekend. The biggest difference to me was the vibe. The vibe over in California was so much more laid back and chill. It was just more relaxed. Also, you don't have to wake up hours early for a Disneyland race, depending upon where you're staying. It's a very short walk to the start. Last year we stayed at the Grand Floridian. So my roommates were like, yeah, we're not going to leave until 45 minutes before the races. And this East Coast gal was like, pardon, 45 minutes? But for the 10K and the half, they were right. There's not as much post and pre-race festivities for a Disneyland race. Like before the race, you won't have character photos out. They won't have a food stand or anything open like that. So basically, you just arrive at your corral and that's it. They will have the entertainment coming from the announcers, though, on the main stage. Now, this is a little different for 5K. I'm going to get into that in a second. But yeah, I mean, both for the 10K and the half marathon, we left the Grand Floridian at about 45 minutes beforehand. And, you know, it gave us plenty of time to get to, I was in Corral A and I was able to get near the front too. So yeah, that is a big difference. I do want to note though, for you coffee addicts, that last year Starbucks and Earl of Sandwich was open at around 4 o'clock. They will have a sign posted in front in downtown Disney so you can get your Java fix. And then again, for the post race, after you finish, there are no character photos. There's no food stand, no beer. They did have a massage tent and a place where you can get your medals engraved. And they had like this big Tinkerbell Half Marathon sign in front of a bush you could get a photo in front of. The line was like crazy, crazy long though, so Jackie and I skipped it and we got a photo in front of the stage backdrop instead. It was very vibrant, very pretty with these colorful flowers, so that actually made a better photo than the sign would have. And for my friends who would like a beer after the half marathon, what Rob and I did was go to Earl of Sandwich after our race. We got a beer and then sat by the windows and we were able to see people coming in through the finish line, which is really kind of cool. So FYI. Now getting into some more specifics for this race weekend, be sure to check out the official event guide that you can find on the Run Disney website. I will put the link below. Read through the whole thing, especially if you are staying off property and you will be taking advantage of the free shuttle transportation to the expo and the races. They're going to be listing all of the instructions there, and plus have all the participating hotels that will have the shuttle stops. In the event guide, you can also find course maps, race info, etiquette tips, and so much more. One little tip, I always like to view it on my phone, and then I take a screenshot of each race information. That way, you know, if I can't remember what time the race starts, I can quickly access that. I also want to point out that even though you were in sunny California, there could be rain. Before last year's 10K, it did rain, so be sure to pack some ponchos and something to protect your phone. If you want more packing tips, then be sure to check out my video that I did. Just take whatever's on my list and cut it down by half though, because you're really not going to have to pack as much for this race weekend. Okay, so let's get into the expo. It is going to be held at the Disneyland Hotel. There's 2 levels. On the main level is where the Run Disney merchandise will be, where you get your race shirts, and they have all the vendors and the booths set up. I do recommend going to get your Run Disney merchandise first in case they do sell out. Usually a good time to go is on Thursdays and Fridays in the afternoon, because there are a lot of locals who do these Disneyland races and they tend to be a little bit more crowded in the evening. I do want to point out that if you are a Disney World Pass holder, you cannot use that for a 10% discount at Disneyland or for the Run Disney merchandise. Only a Disneyland Pass holder can. If you have a Disney Visa, however, and your purchase is over $50 for Run Disney merchandise, you can get a 10% discount for that. Once you get your Run Disney merchandise, then you want to go back outside and roll down the ramp. Okay, I mean walk down the ramp. Be sure to get this really cute photo first. And then downstairs, you will be directed to where you can get your race bib, your commemorative items, and also they have the Dooney and Burke bags there, which by the way are really, really cute this year. For those of you who might have forgotten your race waiver, they will also have computers set up where you can easily print them out. This is also where you will get your wristbands for those of you who are earning your Coast to Coast medals. The blue ones are for people who participated in this year's Walt Disney World Marathon or either of the Star Wars Light Side or Dark Side. If you participated in the Princess Half Marathon, you will be getting that awfully pretty pink one. So pretty, so pretty. So they will give you your bands there. Make sure if you do qualify for both a blue one and a pink one that you get 2 separate bands. A little bit about that. You will get your second Coast to Coast medal if you did a 3rd race this year. So let's say, for example, you did Princess Half and you're doing Tink. That is your pink one. You will get your blue one if you did the Walt Disney World Marathon weekend or either of the Star Wars races. So a lot of potential for bling. So anyway, once you are done on the lower level, you will be directed to another ramp, which will take you up to the main floor. This is where you are going to get your race shirts. Now, I do want to point out for those of you who are doing the Pixie Dust Challenge, you want to make sure the sizing is correct for each of your 3 shirts. Don't just check one and assume that the others will have the same fit. They are produced at different times, so there can be a variance in size or length or width. So definitely want to check them out. They will have a place where you can exchange your shirts, but you cannot only exchange one out of your bundle. You have to exchange the entire bundle. So afterwards, you'll have to check them all over again. But once you get that taken care of, go visit the vendors. Oh my gosh, there's so many there. And definitely check out the Sparkle Athletic. I think I wear something from them in every single race. So for you last minute costume great. You can put together something really cute. And if you'd like some tips on costumes, then check out my blog post below. Whew. And before you leave, go to the lobby of the Disneyland Hotel where they have this really beautiful backdrop set up and you can get your picture in front of that. So that's the expo. Let's move on to the 5K, the Neverland 5K. Oh my goodness, if you are running it, I'm telling you, it is by far my favorite Run Disney 5K from both coasts. It's amazing because you start in Disneyland. You're in front of the castle. Tink comes out to say hello, and she doesn't just zip through. Oh, no, no, no. Tink zigzags across, and oh my gosh, it's so amazing. It's a fantastic 5K. You're going to love it. The 5K is also all in the parks. It's nothing but parks. Oh my gosh. I remember last year running it, and I'm just like, I was so joyous because everything was so beautiful. And Radiator Springs, oh my goodness. Really, really, really slow down for that part because it is just amazing. And it goes by like that. It goes by so fast. But anyway, you really want to get there early. I know I'm like Little Miss early, 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 but it is especially true for this race because they do not assign corrals. It's basically first come, first serve. So I'm going to try to explain it, okay? So imagine the castle. This is the castle, and this is the hub, okay? When people first arrive, corral A is going to come around to this side and then fill up, okay? And then once that is full, corral B will start in front of the stage. And then it will go around, loop around, and then come down Main Street. So if you want to be in Corral A, which you do want to because then the lines will be shorter for the first few characters, then you want to arrive at least an hour before. This photo that I'm posting now, the timestamp is 4:23 for this one. And we were at the very start of Corral B. On one hand, that was good because I had perfect shot for getting video. They had really cute pre-show with pirates that came out, and they had the guy who sang the anthem. I hope he comes back next year because he was fantastic. Anyway, I'm gushing. I'm sorry. I need to move on and stay on track here. There are no fireworks for this send-off. Instead, as each corral comes up, Carissa or one of the announcers will be there, and they will send you off with a blast of confetti. So you start, and the first character we came to last year was Captain Hook and Shmi, and we had to stop. You had to stop for them because they're just so cute. The line was insanely long. So what I did is I was the fastest runner in my group, so I ran ahead, and then they joined up with me, which I think is perfectly fine as long as you're getting a group photo. If each of you then did an individual photo, that's not cool. But anyway, we got a great photo there. But the lines were rather long for each character, and the mile marker lines were the absolute longest I have ever seen in my entire Run Disney career. But it had something probably to do with the fact that these mile markers were beautiful. They were the prettiest. Actually, all the mile markers from this entire weekend are gorgeous. Just so pretty, so colorful. So I had to get a picture with them. So anyway, I better move on to the 10K rather than gushing anymore. And man, just saying that makes me really wish I was going to be there. So the 10K, again, a fabulous 10K because you were all on Disney property. You're going to spend plenty of time in the park. It's really fun, really amazing. Like I said before, we didn't leave Grand Californian until 45 minutes beforehand. I was in Corral A, so I got there in plenty of time to get a nice spot near the front. If I do this race again, which I'm hoping to, I probably would leave earlier, but that's just me. I don't know. That's just me. I like to be prepared. I like to be early. Again, there were no fireworks, but the banner, the starting line banner, oh, it was so pretty. It really was. It's just a pretty weekend. I'm gushing, aren't I? Anyway, so let's get to the start. One thing I really had a hard time with was my breath. For like the first mile, I just could not catch my breath. I'm from Maryland, so I don't know if it was from the elevation or the humidity. Someone's running a saw. I'm sorry. That's loud. But, I just couldn't catch my breath for the first mile, and then it seemed like it needed another mile to recover from that. So just a little warning, just to take it easy if you think it's going to happen to you or if it's really humid. As far as characters that were out for the 10K, it was a lot of fairies. And if you are like me, my boys are in college, so I'm really not up on my Disney knowledge for kids, so I didn't know who the fairies were. I knew Tink, that was about it. But yeah, they had nice character stands set up. I do want to mention that there will be no Powerade, unless it changes. There will be no Powerade at the water stations. So if it's very hot and humid, you want to be prepared with some type of electrolytes, whether you bring your own Powerade or if you bring some Nun Pads or something. All right, so it's time for me to move on to the Grand Poobah, the big shebang of the weekend, the Tinkerbell Half Marathon. Last year, we got to Downtown Disney at about 4:50. That's what the timestamp is from this photo with Jackie and Becky and the gals from my room. Again, there was no pre-race entertainment, so this left plenty of time for us to get to our corrals. Now about the course, you will be traveling through Disneyland and California Adventure at the start of it, and running through the castle was just as amazing as it was in Disney World. Oh gosh, it was really beautiful. And running down Main Street where Walt himself once walked. I mean, it was just stunning. You know, there's so much to love about this race for the first 5 miles. After that, you are going to be on the highway for a long, long time due to construction of Star Wars Land. So I will say that I have done 32 Run Disney races, and only twice have I listened to music or carried earbuds. The first one was for the 2015 half marathon. I got 0 sleep the night before, so mentally, did I say floor? Let's move on. So mentally, I needed a major pick-me-up before I crashed and burned, so I did listen to some music, and I carried earbuds for this year's Princess Half Marathon, but I only listened to one song because I love listening to my surroundings, like the park music or the music coming from the mile markers, conversations of the runners beside me, and the sound of pounding feet on pavement. But this race, I did wish I brought my earbuds. And I also wish that I would have stayed back to run with Jackie. You know, I regret that now. You know, live and learn, moving on. So bring some earbuds if you don't normally listen to music. There will be tons of spectators out with some great signs. And there will be on-course entertainment from local clubs like bands, dance groups, cheerleaders, and the Red Hat Ladies. Oh my gosh, the Red Hat Ladies. That was amazing to come around and you just see hundreds and hundreds of ladies in boas and beads and holding signs and cheering while wearing those awesome red and blue hats. I mean, it was just amazing. Definitely one of my favorite parts of the entire race. I teared up at the end, which doesn't take a lot. If you've watched my videos for a while, you know that I like to get emotional. I will say though, that be careful you don't miss mile 8. If you like getting pictures with each mile marker, be careful you don't miss the mile 8 because it was on the right. I ruined my streak of getting a picture with every single mile marker by being so distracted by the awesomeness of the Run Disney, the Red Hat Ladies, that I totally missed it. So just be cautious of that. And if you would like to see complete video of the entire stretch, Jackie posted a video and I will be putting a link to that below. Oh, and definitely, you want to stop if you see this lady between the mile 9 and 10 marker. Oh my goodness. She has a stand out with sunblock and paper towels and goodies and anything that you can imagine that you would need. She's so sweet. Actually, I want someone to get her name. Get her name so we can do a hashtag because she deserves a hashtag. She was out for Tink and for the Disneyland Half Marathon. Tell her I said hello. So getting back on course here, you will be entering Disney property again at around mile 12. Oh, it's going to be a beautiful finish. It's just, I don't know. That part was definitely just so charming and lovely. I know that sounds weird, but compared to Disney World races, I just found it to be so charming, so lovely. There's going to be so many spectators lining a barricade near the mile 13 marker. You definitely want to stop and get a picture. And then the finish is just gorgeous. And of course, the bling. It definitely, my Tinkerbell Half Marathon medal was definitely my favorite medal last year. For Jackie and I, both of us, it's just really beautiful. I'm jealous I'm not going to be there. So there you go. I think I've chatted on for long enough about this wonderful race weekend. I have to admit that when I first did it, I went into it with the attitude that, you know, it was going to be one and done because, you know, Disney World races are a lot more affordable for me because I have an annual pass. But I want to go back. I want to go back next year. So fingers crossed I will. Until then, have an amazing, amazing, wonderful time. I want to hear all about it. So please leave your comments and tell me how it went. And I cannot wait to see your pictures online. If you get a jump shot, please use the hashtag #JoyfulJumpShot so I can see it. And when you have a picture with your medal, use the hashtag #JoyfulMilestones so I can see it as well. Have a blast. Give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful. Please subscribe for more video updates, and as always, take care and have a joyful day.